All right, so just to show you what's going on, this is well, another thing we can do is we can kind of make, well, just to make things more clear, I can do this. I'm going to split this screen, so I'll click on this and I'll do two views side by side. Click on this, right? Now I'll do spacebar one in this one, so we have our uh, our perspective, and this side right here. I'll go into this and I'll say, oh no, I'm doing that completely wrong. Um, I did that wrong. All right, you click on this and it's um, split plane left to right. That's what it was. And then you click on this now and you do split plane top and bottom, right? So what I'm doing is I'm making another one of these. So I'll just go here and if I click on this, um, object, oh no, we want to right click on this and click on network view. And then I right click on this and I click on parameters. Now this is what we're going to do. If we click on this little pin right here and click on one, and we click on this right here and click on one, now these two are linked. So this is choosing the node that you want. And then this is keeping the parameters because it's saying one and one. This one over here, I'll click on this pin and click two and two. All right. Now this will help me, I guess, kind of explain. If I click over here on auto.network, right? Remember, we have a can and a wall. So let's go to our wall. If we go to wall, this right here says, this is how we bring in our objects to be dynamic, right? So the wall is right here, and this SOP path, surface operator, is that's what that means. Remember I was saying DOPS earlier, and I was saying chops. So this the surface operator. So this means like geometry, right? Now it has this right here. This is open input path, blah blah blah, all this stuff right here, right? Now the wall is right here. Now what it's doing is if I click on this, well, this is what it's saying. It's saying object, context, object, wall, object, dot import. This right here. So it's saying this is what's going into this right here. So this right here is this. But also, if we wanted to do it another way, we can do it like this. Just type a null and type in out wall, right? So remember, this is our wall object in our dot network. If I take this right here and drag it in, or if I click on this and I find it, oh look, wall object out wall. That's the null I made, right? Let's see if it still works. It still works, right? So this really right here is just the automatic way that Houdini made to set it up. But if you want to set it up by yourself, you can do this. So this just says out wall. And remember, so let's do this. I'll even disconnect, well, I'll make it dead, right? Yeah, disconnect it, right? So wall object, I want it. I go to this, I find object context, which it automatically goes to because it's only looking for geometry. It goes to the wall. The out wall is the last null made, and we can just select it there. Or we can take it and do what I did over here and drag it in. So there's the way we use when we chose it. And let's click it and see. It activates. Now let's drag it in just to see. So even though that changes, it's still going to the same location. So it's basically different ways of choosing the same location. All right. And our can's the same thing, right? Let's go to our can. Let's go to the can object. Same thing. I can just go over here and say null. Do out can. Let's just be cool and drag it in, right? Nice. Ah. And then, of course, we can go in here to our tube on transform, right? And we don't forget this transform. Let's just mess with it from here. I can click on this and I can click on rotate, let's say. Or you know what? Let's just do it both ways just to see. So I just rotated it from the actual base object. So we see what it's doing. And then if I turn this on, click on this, it's not really, that's something I got to look at, like how to center that pivot, because I'm not 100% sure. I guess we could like go here and center it this way, but I feel like there should be a different way. I'm not 100% sure now. But if we click on this, what it does is it takes this object and kind of like moves it to where the pivot was. So I'll just do it like this. Yeah, that's something I should know. Or I guess I've never really had to mess with it. But yeah, there we go. Okay, so we have our out can. That's what we have. Now let's bring in this pig head, right? So I'll go like this, no. Let's do. So we have our out piggy, right? So this works a little bit different, but same thing. Well, actually, I'm gonna do a little experimentation. So this is called a RBD packed object. So I just copied this one. That's how I got the can. But if I right click RBD packed object. Oh, this isn't packed. So when I was talking about packed, this is what I mean. When I go over here and we click on this assemble node, it says create packed geometry. That just basically gets it ready for dynamics. Create packed geometry. That's why when we go to this and it says RBD packed object, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, we've packed it so it can be in this right here. But this is more for fracturing things, which I'm going to do in a second. So let's say I want the pig head to like hit the wall. I can go right click and type in static static object. All right. So we have our ground plane, which is static. And now we have our static object, which is static. So if I right click and go to merge, and I put this here, cool. So for my static object, you know what I want? I want that pig, right? So I'm going to go to our surface operator. I'm going to go find that pig. Where's that pig at? Am I bugging? Oh, here it is. All right, so click here, out piggy. Now it's in here, right? So static object, and we go to the object path. So this is just like the main node that, like the container that it's in, which is this right here. And I'll just go to pig head. You know the cool thing about this? Right now, if I click on this, it says test geometry pig head. But if I go here and I type in like my pig head, it automatically updates. And try that with my, right? So let's press play and see what happens. Nothing happens, right? So we'll click on this and we'll go to use object transform. Now let's see what happens. Oh, still nothing. Deforming Geo. That's what it is. Use Deforming Geo. Actually, let me see if I take off this, what will happen. Yeah, same thing. So it was all about using deforming geometry, which means geometry that's moving, these vertices are doing something. So now you see what's happening, right? Press play. It's knocking it over. And if you noticed, right, it knocked it over, and then that can got in the way, and then it like kind of flipped over that can. Right. So let me just show you. So this thing hit, that bounced, that can just happened to be there, and it flopped over that can. Right. Yeah, and then it moved over there like this. All right. Now this is what we do because there's animators, right, who could, let's say, if the pig ran through the wall, maybe they could like fracture this and hit one side or animate the other side like by hand, right? But when you have a lot of objects, you're not going to be animating all that by hand. Like when there's lots of tiny little pieces, you're not going to do that. So you're going to basically do things with dynamics. So it's like animating, but with forces instead of animating things, right? Now, because we made this according to the size of our guy right here, it should look accurate to like real life, as far as like how it moves. Um, because it's not like super fast, or this thing doesn't look crazy heavy or too light. It looks pretty normal. I guess normal as far as, a pig crashing through a wall. So, let's mess with this wall a little bit. Let's say I want to like break the wall, or crack it up, let's say. So what I'll do is I'll move this right here, and I'll go to type right click, and I'll type in VOR. So VOR ONOI. I just always type in VOR. Veroni. I don't know exactly how to say it, but this is supposed to fracture this thing, right? So check this out. This is what we're gonna do. Well, actually, I'm gonna do the experiment on that. I don't know if it matters which one it's under. So this is how this works. We have our box, right? Which is this. We have our bevel, which we bevel, right? And now what I like to do is put some points inside of here, right? So if I right click and I type in SCATTER, we have something called scatter, right? And what this does is this will scatter points within whatever object that it's is getting an input from. So if I click on this one and click right here, and if I click on scatter, look at what happens, right? I have a whole bunch of points in here, right? That's a whole lot of points. So I'll select this, and instead of having it be 1,000, I'm gonna delete a 0 and make it 100. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna click it and connect it to here. Now I'm gonna click on the output of this, and look at what happened, right? It gives me, well, this is what it's doing. If I press W and I template this, all right? So what I did is right here, I templated the points so you can see the position of the points going into this, all right? So what this is doing is it's taking every point that's in there, and it's making like a I don't want to say a random shape, but it's kind of making a chunk out of that area up to a certain point, and then it's getting another chunk, right? If I click on this scatter and I drag this down, see this, the lower I'm getting it, the bigger the chunks, because it's less chunks. But you can kind of see what it's doing, right? These points are jumbled. Now, just to show you how scatter works, right? If I go over here to force total count, this is controlling the number of points. This random, well, okay, global seed, right? Global seed is saying, all right, these points are in this position right now. If we add a point, yeah, the position of the point changes. But if we go to the global seed, which is the position of the points, it'll change like a random, give us a random position. So it's the same number. It's still 21. It's just in a random position. So this is like substance when we go to like seed and you move it around and it kind of gives you like a random selection. So this can go on forever, right? But it's still always going to be 21 points. Let's make it 32. You know, let's do 38. All right. So we have this. Now here's something to note, right? This is coming from this shape, but if we wanted to, I can type in sphere, sphere, right? So I have a sphere right here, right? And I can connect this sphere to the scatter and look at what it did. What it's doing is, just so we can see, so we have this sphere right here, and we could even change this. Well, I guess the sphere is what it is. If we click on this scatter right here, look at what happened. There's points within this sphere, just within the sphere. Now, if I take this sphere right here and I slimming it up, that's not a real word, I guess, make it thin, right? Now, they're still within that sphere. And if we click on this right here, which is like randomize, no, wait. What is it? Oh, relax iterations. That's the one. We can get like a different kind of look from this. I think that when this is on, it's kind of more evenly spaced. If you click on this, I think it's more random distribution. But you know what? We can test that out right here. See, this is the advantage of this program. Like, just imagine trying to do this in Maya, switching something like that. It would just be a real pain. So let's select this. Yeah. So you see if I turn off that, it gives me like some small chunks and some big chunks. And remember that randomization is like the what makes things look real. So uniform, not uniform. And then of course you can like go in here and change. Well, maybe it's not that one. Maybe this. Kind of manipulate it more, but huh. Kind of did that for us in a way. I never knew that. That's almost with this. I guess it's like the same thing. Well, anyway, yeah. Let's just turn it off anyway. So we can take this sphere right here. You see how it's there? And now this can be where the fracture happens. So if I want to, I could have it like right here where the pig is, and it would make sense, right? Because the pig is smashing into this part of the wall. But I'll switch it over there in a second. Let's just do this, all right? So now this thing fractured up my points, and you look at the wall, all right? Now if we click on this, oh no, let's go back here. So we have our wall object, and we have our output. Oh, remember that output that I showed before? This is just the output for the dynamics for the DOP network, right? This. So it looks different than if it was over here because this is yeah, just for surface operators, which are geometry, and this is for our dynamics. So it's the same idea. It's just that this node will look different. Okay, so let's press play and see what happens. Now we're seeing two different walls because why am I seeing two different walls? I actually don't know. Maybe I had both of those displayed. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, let me do that again. Oh, here's something else. Let's say, I mean, you won't have to do it, worry about this too much for what we're doing. But if you click on reset simulation, if you like make some changes, it can like update. Sometimes it'll do it by itself. It just depends. But it's more for like, I guess, more advanced networks. But let's see what happens. I'll select this, press play. Now we have this. Cool. And everything works. If you look at this, our piece is on top of this. All right. Now, let's do a flip book, right? So if I have this right here, I'm gonna, what is it? Control click my camera. So I got my camera now. Camera's right here. Let's give it a name. All right. Select it, and we'll hit the keyframe, right? Go over here. Keyframe. Let's take it to 96, right? So I just type that in to shorten up that timeline, or I can go click on this, and where it says frames per second 24, that's how fast it's gonna, well, just so you know where I got it. This button right here, global animation options, click on this. 24 frames per second. Start frame is 1. And let's just change this to 100. Press enter and done. So now this thing, and press close, you know, now it's going on 100. So we can right click, press play. All right. And now let's do a flip book. So we left click on this, flip book menu settings, uh, RF start, RF end. So what this means is render frame start, or I mean, I'm not, I won't even say that. Let's just say that just means the beginning of the timeline, and the end means the end of this. So whatever the beginning is and the end, that's what you put right here. Or you can just type in like 1 or 2 or something like that, or you type in 35 right here. It doesn't matter. So you can either leave it like this and it gets the whole thing, or you can specify, you can even go to negative numbers if you want, or specify the end. So let's just press start. All right, let's just play this. Cool. Now, if you don't want that little gizmo right here, what we can do is just click off of the camera and highlight something else, and then you can still see, you see that here? We can just press this arrow. But anything we like highlight like this, if I press W, it stays highlighted in the render. If I do that to the walls, same thing. It's not doing it now. But yeah, so let's just click off of this, press that. Let's click off. And let's just do another. Well, you know what? Let's modify this a bit. So I'll just go right here. I'll put it right here just to do it. And I'll kind of maybe raise. All right. So remember, to get in our camera, we click on this, click on render camera. And woo. I don't think I did what I thought I did. So let me do it now. I'll go like this. And because I'm already on that frame, wherever I move it, it's like an automatic keyframe. Oh, you know what I did? I didn't lock it. That's what I didn't do. So I'll click it right here. I'll lock it. So now my changes, when I make them, they'll be logged in because I locked it. All right. Yeah, that's what it was. Ooh, that's some horrible animation. I mean, camera animation, I should say. So because that's so bad, I'll just click on this, right click, and delete keys. I'll just kind of, I'll do this. Yeah. Just to add a little something extra. Click on the keyframe. All right, so we see what it is. I'll take this. And now middle mouse button, click. Oh, just so you know how I did that, hold down Shift, click, scan, or select all of them. So click, Shift, scan. Middle mouse button, grab the end, and I'm just like stretching these out just so I have, you know, a more longer animation, even though I could have animated it more to, you know, 100. Yeah, just run the flip book now. Since I already set up the settings, all I have to do is click it. Unless I want to change something like the frame range or something like that. So here we go. Bang. Okay. Now, this is the way I set it up here, but you can also do it. Well, yeah, there's two ways to set this up. I can do it like this, which is the automatic way, or I mean, I can do it, actually do it all myself by doing DOP, network, and then like, you know, going through this and typing in bullet, which is kind of like how we regularly do it, but we do it within one of these nodes. And what I mean by that is this. So this is the one way to set up. We have this object, and this object here. But what I could do is this. And remember, these are two, I have these split, so this is going to be easy for me to do. I can do Geo. So it's all about whichever one's easier for you. So I just typed in wall sim, and I'll do this. I'll go in here to get my can. I'll select all of this, Control C, Control V, all right? So this is my can. I'll go on my wall object. I'll select all of this, Control C, Control V, and let's do this. So can and this. And now we have our auto depth network, right? Which are these things. But I'll just show you how you make it all from scratch just by looking at this. I'll just right click, because what this is this. These are default kind of like ways to set it up and for you to learn from. And then you can kind of take this and grow from it. And so I'll right click and I'll type in, sorry, DOP network. And I can name this whatever I want. So let me name it wall sim. Oh, I spelled it wrong. You know, I spelled it wrong on purpose just to. No, I'm not gonna do that. All right, let me do simulation. Sometimes I do that just to show you can name it whatever. When I first started, people would like just name things like really technical names, and I thought they had to be named that way. So there's certain things that have to be named a certain way, and there's certain things that don't. So this is just one of those. All right, so I'll type in rigid body solver. Connect this here. Type in gravity. Put this here. Oh. Type in ground plane. Type in merge. Right. We can have a ground plane right here. And I can right click static object. Click right here. Oh wait, it's the wrong way. Oh, I put this here. Well, actually, I should just do this like this, just to make everything easier. Select these two first, put it in there, then select this one last, so that it works correctly. Oh no, I'm tripping. I did a type in merge. These two are supposed to go into one. Cut these, hold down Y, and then put this in here, and then we'll do it like that. That's the way it's supposed to be. All right. So we have our statics. And used to put in this. STAT. Static solver. And this will kind of like help you, I guess, visually to be like, okay, these are supposed to be static objects, but this actually doesn't do anything. So I think it's just like a visual thing to let you know, all right, yeah, this is a static solver and this is rigid body solver right here. But like I said, if this is on or off or missing, it won't matter. But just for organization's sake, I guess, or learning, we'll keep it. So right click, what is it? Rbd Packed Object. So we'll make this, and this will be our, you can do this, or we can just completely name it wall. So it doesn't matter. So I'll control click. That one says wall. This one's going to say can. And merge. And I'll just select them both, put them here, and then put this one into the first one. So you can learn it from looking at this. So remember our wall. Let me go find our wall, right? And since I made two of these, I can just go into wall sim. Because remember, we're inside of here. Because look, object, wall sim, object, wall sim, wall simulation. Because right now we're just inside of this, but we're here. And the reason I do this sometimes is just so I can select this and drag this into here. Or, or just kind of adjust these parameters, because I can also adjust this while I'm looking at, so I can adjust the seed for the crack of the wall, and we're in the dynamic network. So I will, so wall, or we can just click on this, remember? Because we can just go to wall sim and then just go to out wall, or click on the can and click on out can. All right. So just so we see what's going on, we have our object right here, what's important that it says set up packed prims, and it says create packed geometry. And then sometimes you can change the name if you want, since we have a bunch of pieces. So I can name it like, no, this one. Actually, I won't even touch that. I'll just leave it the way it is. We'll just keep this lesson simple. Press play. That's that. What happened? Oh, this one's on right now too. So let me take off that one. So now this one is our like main one. And if I press C, I can change the color just to say, all right, yeah, this is our like rigid body simulation. So this is our dude. This is our camera. We've already, like these right here, we already like copied them. You know what I'm saying? The geometry out of these. So this can is already in here. So in a way, because I already copied them, I'll just delete them. Or I can do this. I can just put it in an area like this and then give it a folder. Name it trash. If I want to keep it, or I can completely delete it, you know. And then you can name the folder too. I mean, the folder, the little backdrops. I mean, color it so I can color it dark brown because it's complete garbage. All right, so we have this right here. So we have the pig head and let's bring our pig head in. Oh, and I'll do this. This will be a little interesting thing. So let's say we have a bunch of geometry, right? And I want to bring in my pig head. Now, before, when I took these, I just straight up copied these, Control C, and then I brought it in here, Control V. Right? So I can do that to the pig, right? But I can also do it a different way, which is like this. I can right click and type in OBJME object merge, right? And I can click on this. Now let's bring in this pig, right? So I can do it the same way. This is the output, right? The pig right here. So I can drag this into this right here. And now if I click on this, this is it's in a different position, right? But this from this pig head is now into this object right here, right? We're just looking at both the locations only because it's only in a different location in the center because I have to click on into this object. So when I click on into this object and I put it right here, now I'm having this object. Like, let me show you. If I turn off the pig head, right? So the display flag doesn't need to be on because now this right here is in here. Right? So I have this animation and everything. So it's like it's like I don't know if y'all have watched Star Trek, but it's kind of like those portals where they have it on the. Oh man, it's such an old show. I don't know if they did in the new movie, but they have these portals where they step in and they go shoom, and they like kind of go into another place. It's kind of like that. It's like, hey, I'm taking it from here and going into this other object. So with this right here, I can, I just did control click to take this, just copy this, or I can make my own null, connect it, and name it out pig Geo. Just to name it something different, right? So remember this one, out piggy. We have this right here, the out piggy. Or I can go find it with this, same thing. Into this object, very important. So now the pig is in here, and now it's right here. Now if I click on this and go in here, there's static object, right? I didn't hook up the pig yet. So let's do it. Let's just go to the SOP path. Remember, wall simulation is what we're in. So we can drag it in or we can just find it. So wall simulation,